period. So what people have to realize, one, so many religious people, is that you have a choice to make. You have a choice to follow the Bible and follow what it says is right before God and live your life that way. If you're not doing that, then how are you any different from a person who doesn't believe in the book? You're not any different. You're sinning. You just don't want to admit it. You're clueless of exactly what you're doing because you don't understand the Bible. You're not reading it, and you interpreting the Bible the way you want to interpret it. Plain and simple. So when the Bible was clear about what you're doing, if you want to just say well, Hebrews 10:26, the whole thing about knowing about sin or whatever like that, whatever you want to apply to that verse, we can all agree on this. Sin is bad. Sin you're not supposed to be doing. Lustful things you're not supposed to be doing. Are you doing those things every single day? Yes. And nobody who's watching this can sit here and say that they are not, because you are. You're sinning by being here watching me anyway. So it is what it is. You can't live your life that way. You need to understand, one, what your subconscious mind is trying to tell you to do. It's not going to allow your body to follow this book because it knows it's bullshit. So now with the Quran, you have verses like Quran 476, those who believe fight in the cause of Allah. You have in Quran 3:151 when it's talking about basically casting terror into the disbelievers. And there's a lot of verses when you read in the Quran. One of the things is with the Quran, it's a lot of misconceptions, or a lot of people not reading completely what the Quran says. Because when you keep reading in a lot of these verses, it kind of explains what it's saying, and it makes up for it somehow, some way, with Allah either stopping them from doing something they're not supposed to do or stopping them from sinning. And a lot of people don't get that far. So usually when they read like casting terror, people just automatically think, Islam terror. And this is what it was designed to do. You have, again, I explained this before, what you have with the Quran is people telling you that it's a holy, peaceful book. And this is the case. It's a peaceful book when you really get into a lot of stuff. There's a lot of things you can take out of context and say that it's a violent book and this and that. This is exactly what the so-called terrorists are doing. They're doing that on purpose because it causes conflict with the religion. It causes conflict. It's supposed to do it. That's what it's supposed to do. It's the same thing with the Bible. But with the Quran, usually what you find is anybody who really studies it, it's explained. Just keep reading the book. It explains a lot of the stuff. You just keep going. They do stuff for a reason. Stuff is done for a reason. Which is why, again, when we look and we pay attention, there has been more terrorist attacks really from white men in America than from actual fucking Muslims. So let's just keep it real on that. The thing is, when you have people who have this religion and taking it out of context and doing things based on the Quran and their belief of the Quran, and you have the news media blasting it all over TV, and we see the depictions that we see of Islam, of course, we're going to think the way we think. One of the problems is also, willful ignorance. People too lazy to look stuff up. All you got to do is, if you feel a certain way about something, you really want to know the truth, look it up, research it. So you get people who say, this dude is a devil worshiper. He works for Satan. He got that Illuminati stuff on his desk. And it's like, what are you talking about? What's Illuminati? And then all you have to do is look this stuff up. Look up the headdress. Google it. Why jet neck bet? See what they represent. And then it's like, okay, so look how old it is. It predates your religion. It predates any mention of a Satan. So which came first? Who copied off of what? And, it's willful ignorance. And a lot of people set in their ways, they're stuck in their ways. They don't want to do the research or do the necessary work to ascertain the truth. They want to just say what they got to say. And a lot of people think, they hop on YouTube with no profile picture, say what they want to say out their mouth for whatever reason, try to get away with whatever they want to get away with, whatever they want to say. And at the end of the day, proof is proof. And if you got proof, then there's no debate. It's just somebody who talking a bunch of crap, who about to get, their ass handed to them with facts and proof. So, again, a lot of people who saw the video of the guy who tried to refute my video, you got a lot of church people who saw that video now, watched it. And, some people actually called this guy an idiot who was from the church, or he don't know what he's talking about. You know, he representing the Bible wrong. He don't represent the Bible for all of us. And I could do a better job debating the Bible against you, against me. So, you know, this is where this whole thing stems from with this pastor. I'm not going to say his name, whatever like that. But we'll see. He got a little following on YouTube, whatever like that. He got a following on Facebook. And he thinks he can put me in my place as it pertains to the Bible. But from the little dialogue that we did have, he done. He screwed. We already know this. People who actually watch the videos, he can't stand up. Because again, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to his faith versus my facts. He not prepared for that. Not just that. One, he don't want to allow his congregation to see him get destroyed online, basically. Because you know, when it come out, if we had a debate and people see what I'm talking about, there's no way they're going to be able to not listen to it and not really agree with it, and he might lose his money that he got coming into the church every Sunday. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if we keep it 100% and fight for the Lord, you know, fight for God, so to speak. But one of the topics of debate was going to be what we discussed. One is being able to practice Christianity in truth in our current civilization, which to me is impossible. You can't do it. You know, in the Arab world, in the Muslim world, they had strict laws that was enforced by the people as well. You know, it was the people that are stoning you in the street in front of everybody. You know, this is how it went down with these religions. They didn't play that. They was really raised into these beliefs. So the whole community, you know, was involved when something went down, when you went against that Quran. So it's not like that here. And that right there should tell you, one, that you're living in a society where you can't truly be a Christian because it's not being enforced. Who is enforcing Christianity? Nobody. Who is enforcing it? Who is there to punish you when you do something wrong against the Bible? Nobody. You're not punishing yourself. So you have Christians going out with Christians to sin and then go to church on Sunday. So, you know, tell me, is the world not corrupting them, or do they understand what's going on in the world and they just don't care? They like being corrupted. And after you read the verses that I just read, you understand if you suppose to not to walk in spirit, then you walk in spirit. You don't consort with things that have to do with lust. And this is what you are all doing. It's just that simple. So now again, one of the questions that I get is, you know, why am I doing what I'm doing? You know, why did I start putting out the videos and everything like that? And I explained that before, but a lot of people always say it like, you know, the Bible only talks about good things, you know, peaches and cream and candy and lollipops and roses. Nothing is bad in the Bible, which we already went through this before. I proved that. Of course, there's a bunch of bad stuff in the Bible. God kills millions of people in the Bible, plain and simple. God is responsible for some sick things that go on in the Bible. So is some of your prophets like Moses. So we can't say the Bible is all good. So people come at me with that. Well, the Bible is good. It's only trying to tell people to do good and, you know, live a good life in a good way and treat people good. But clearly that's not the case. And the thing is, you know, I actually been challenged as far as being, I guess, you know, a good black slave, black person. You know, I'm a coon for going against the Bible. How is that possible when we got this book in slavery? And this is the thing that I try to express to people when I go against the Bible. It's not just because, one, I can prove what it is and, you know, what it's talking about, and that it's not real, it's not true, not just because of that. But one of the main reasons is we got it during slavery. We got the book while we was enslaved by Europeans. And we got it from Europeans. And when you trace back the history of this book, one, it's not rock solid. None of the history, real proven history, backs up the book. And then on top of that, when you have the book talking about we cursed, and when you have the book clearly talking about how, you know, we had our civilizations taken from us by people who's supposed to be special and chosen, whereas these people, and then you don't see no proof to back that up. It's like, well, wait a minute, we're being tricked. If they loved us so much, why enslave us? If they were trying to help us and get us to God, why didn't they teach us about the Bible, teach us about God? We learned their religion, we learned their language, and just send us on our way. And then everything been peace after that. None of this racism, none of this stuff that's going on, none of this oppression. What's up with that? And we're supposed to look at all this stuff and just say the Bible is good and true. And we have absolutely nothing to prove that. What experience can you point to me that you can prove where the Bible changed your life or the life of anybody? Specifically, anybody. The Bible, specifically only the Bible, something, how does that work? It's not the Bible, it's you. If your life changed because you read the book, and you want to give credit to the book for you making a decision to change your life, then okay, you can say that. But that's totally different from the book being true. You can say, well, I read this book and it gave me the inspiration to want to go and change my life. That's fine. If the book is good to you for that reason, that's cool. But you still can't say that it's true, that everything in it is real, because you chose to do something good with your life doesn't make the book correct and true. And again, I'm not trying to spoil nobody's hope or take your hope away from you or whatever hope you have in this book. I'm pointing out the truth to my people who the book has greatly affected and has continuously let down, has not lived up to any of the promises. So we got to know the truth. Instead of us putting so much faith in this book, we need to put the faith in ourselves and each other and our history. Is what we need to look into to see, what's going on. And the thing is, how can we come to a country, or we was already in this country, but how can we basically, blend with this country as Christians, as black Christians, when you look at the history this country has against us? So how can we take this book that white people also take and come together with this religion where everybody's supposed to be equal, everybody's supposed to be cool, everybody's supposed to be good and not throwing a bunch of stuff or whatever like that. And this is not what we're seeing from the society. It's not what we're seeing. So obviously the book is wrong. Clearly, it's not living up to its promises. And the reason why I talk against it is not really to talk against it, but to teach more about it. Because the book is the key to you understanding the truth. The book is trying to tell you the truth, but if you don't read it or study it, you're not going to figure it out. So it's not about me trying to, spoil somebody's hope. The reason why I do it is because it's more to the story, and the way the book has been taught to us was taught to us this way so that we don't get the true meaning. And as you can see, what I've been putting out has been to give you the true meaning of the book, and I've done that. And that video is called That's Game, the Bible and Christianity Finally Explained. If you don't want to sit through the 6 hours, then you're not going to get the answers you're looking for. But the people who have will tell you it's worth the 6 hours, because you're going to get the answers you're looking for from the book. And you're going to understand clearly more what the book is talking about when you watch the video, or when you watch other videos that I have, when you watch, the content that I put out. I haven't not given you bullshit. I've given you proof. I've backed it up with sources. And it makes sense, way more sense than the Bible does on the surface. So now most of these things I have discussed in previous videos, but, the thing remains about, us being able to live, or religious people being able to live in our society. And society that's really starting to get more and more full of atheists and people who question religion, but it has always been full of people who don't follow the religion, people who just say they do, people who go to church and act like they do. This has always been here. So again, when they passed a law allowing gay marriage, the same, government that makes you put your hand on the Bible, because our laws are in the Bible, come from the Bible. So it's telling you, how can you not look at that and say, well, wait a minute, well, how the hell can we allow this to be legal? You got so many preachers and pastors all online talking about gay people, homosexuals in the church, and being upset about it, and then you have your government pass this law allowing, gay marriage to be legal, what have you. How can you not look at this and say, well, something is suspect, something is wrong? Then you have the same government that gives churches 501c3 tax exempt status, that allows you to basically not pay taxes in order for you to preach. They want you to preach. They want you to build churches and get the word out. How can you not put that connections together, that they're tied into the book somehow, that they benefit from you, being religious and, trying to follow this book, because when you try to follow it, all you do is build conflict within yourself, because you're fighting against yourself, because you have your subconscious that's not going to allow you to act out this book and truly follow it. So now you got guilt problems. You go to church putting, money in a collection plate because you feel guilty. But everything the society is showing you is that there is antichrist. One, it's against the religion. It's not following the religion. You're working for companies and corporations that go completely against the religion. So again, how can you truly follow the religion in this society? You have to live in a society that's completely geared towards your religion, and that's the only way it's going to work. As if it's enforced 100% and it's drilled into your head from birth for you to follow this religion. Living in this society, living under this system, you can't truly follow your religion. So that's just the bottom line. But, I wanted to thank you guys, again, as always, for taking the time to watch. More videos to come. And as I explained in the beginning of the video, it is what it is. So, like I said, those of you who are interested, and even if you have purchased before, please send me your email to Merkabah@therealmerkabah.com. Any problems that you had in the past trying to order, please let me know so we can figure out what's going on with the situation. Is they blocking me or what have you? It's just like, there's a lot of stuff that's been going on. Too many people. And I can't read all the messages that people, you could just see error, problem, link, or, the messages from people who saying they didn't even know I had all these videos out or DVDs out. Like, it's crazy. So, again, email me, Merkabah@therealmerkabah.com. Thank you guys for watching. See you next video.